Good morning, everybody. We're going to be playing with the hips today. Joy, joy, right? So you're going to need a strap with a loop in it, and we'll be able to adjust the loop as needed, but about shoulders width apart for your loop. And again, we may adjust that as we go. And of course, both of your blocks would be lovely. And I want you, and I don't know that I'll demo it, but some of the things we're going to do, if you happen to have one of these elastic band things, that can be a really nice alternate practice for strengthening the hips and things. So if you have one of those instead of a strap, you could use your elastic band. I don't know that I'll fuss with it though, because most of the yoga students don't have one of those. All right, so grab your loop or grab your strap and come on down to your backs. And just set the strap aside for now. Let's get ourselves centered. I would keep the knees bent, your feet on the floor. Make sure your knees are comfortable. And maybe you take your feet wide on your yoga mat and let the knees drop down towards center. And then kind of shimmy the hips a little bit side to side and see if you can find the base of your sacrum, or really the center of your sacrum. You know, in the spine, we have the cervical spine behind the neck, the thoracic spine behind the upper back, down to the 12th rib. And then we have the lumbar spine, our lower back. And then we have this kind of neat diamond shape, or really triangle shaped sacrum that spans the sides of the hips until the glute muscles, of course. So that's what I'm talking about, just in case you're not sure. And then below that is our little teeny tailbone left over from who knows what. So kind of feel yourself centered on your sacrum. And what that means is your lower back is not plopped down to the floor. You're not tucking your pelvis, nor are you overarching. Okay, you're finding this kind of middle space where you feel both sides of that pelvis and you can rest comfortably. Maybe the knees are touching, maybe not. And then let your hands rest at the lower belly. The back of the neck is nice and long. If you need a low blanket or pillow under your head to have your neck neutral, please go ahead and do that. The shoulders soften down toward the floor, but you're not forcing them. You're just letting gravity take those shoulders where they need to go. And then relax your jaw. Start to breathe as you inhale, taking the breath toward the belly as the belly expands up and out. And as you exhale, let that belly fall back to the floor. Good. And stay here for a moment as you inhale this big belly breath. It doesn't just stay in the belly. So once you're inhaling, fill up through the belly and the chest, lungs. And then exhale it down. And as you exhale, see if you can draw that exhale all the way out. And if your hands are resting at the low belly, you might even get a sense of the muscles drawing into center, the hip bones kind of drawing into center a little bit. If you don't feel that, don't worry about it, but just see if you can move that breath into the low belly, especially at the exhale. The next time you exhale, I want you to open your mouth and make a ha sound with your mouth, with your vocal cords. So as you inhale, normal. As you exhale, as if you're so relieved. You're just letting that breath go, inhaling, exhaling, drawing the belly deep down. One more here, inhale, exhale. And then relax your breath, separate the knees so that the knees are hips width apart. Draw your right knee toward your chest. Take the hands behind your knee and just extend the leg up toward the ceiling and back down again, taking the right leg up and back down. Good. A couple more, just warming up the hamstrings. Good. One more right here. Stretch it up. When that leg is up, point your toes and flex. Point, flex, yep, point, flex, and then big circles with your ankle, and circle the other way. And then flex your foot, but just try to play with your big toe, which I know is going to be kind of weird. So I'm trying to press my big toe down as if I were pressing that toe into the floor. The other toes are kind of reaching closer to the knee. And then see if you can switch, take the four toes down or pointing really more toward the ceiling, and see if you can get your big toe to head more toward the knee. Good, switch, just one more, both directions. Press down through the big toe. We're trying to isolate that big toe mound. And then switch again, press the big toe toward your knee as the other toes reach away. And then bend the knee, your right hand to your right knee, and just do little baby circles with one knee, with that one knee. And circle the other way. Bring the knee to chest and release it. Good, let's go to the other side. Your left knee comes to your chest, your hands come behind. Straighten it up and flex. Straighten the leg. Flex, good. Three more, just warming up those little legs. And straighten. Good, last one. Straighten, hold it here. Point your toes and flex and point. Good, flex one more, point and flex, and then big circles with your ankle. And circle the other way. I giggle because one ankle works just a little better than the other. Good. And then a little bit of a flex to your foot. Once again, see if you can reach the big toe toward, right? The tendency is to straighten the ankle, but don't straighten the ankle. Just try to get your big toe going one way and your other toes going the other way. And then switch. This way should be easier. And switch, big toe goes one way, the toes head toward your knee. Ooh, that's a tough one. And switch again. Good. And then bend the knee, little circles with that knee. Doesn't have to be big here. Circle the other way. And release, knee to chest, and then foot to the floor. Grab your strap with your loop. And as we play with the hips, the knees, and the loop, be willing to adjust that loop wider, narrower, right? Depending on what you're playing with here. So already, because I was playing with some other things earlier, I'm going to tighten my loop a little bit. And it's right above the knees, maybe a couple of inches above the knees. And then my feet come back to the floor. Your feet are either hips width apart or maybe wider. My feet are wider than hips width apart so that I can get good purchase on the strap. And all I want you to do here is to try to press the knees, the legs away from center, pushing against the strap. Identify where you feel that in your hips. For me, it's pretty much right at that side hip a little bit, and then release it, and then press again. And release, yep, press out. Now, if your knees hurt when they're bent this much, just take the feet further out. You can still get great purchase. In fact, Everybody go ahead and do that. I didn't play with this prior to, but I actually feel the hips a little bit more when my feet aren't directly under my knees. Very interesting. Good. And then from here, I want you to pick your toes up so that you're just in your heels and do it again for 5. Yep, squeeze out, release, squeeze out, whew, release. Yep, couple more, squeeze, release. Last one, squeeze and release. Good. And then maybe bring your knees to your chest, maybe straighten the legs, circle your ankles. And take the strap down toward your ankles so it's above the ankles. If your legs straight up are okay, keep them there. If your lower back is chatty, you take the hands underneath your sacrum, give yourself a little support. And I want you to do the same thing. Flexed feet as if you're standing on the ceiling. Squeeze out and release. Squeeze it out. Feel the hips and release. Squeeze out. Release, good. Few more. Squeeze. 2. Ooh, it's small, right? It's subtle. Squeeze and release. Bend your knees. Bring your knees toward your chest. Shake out those ankles. And then wrap the strap around your feet. Okay. So it's around your feet. And what you're going to do here is as you draw one knee, so say left knee, toward your chest, the other leg, your right leg, is going to see if it can straighten, but you're going to really resist. And then just let the legs kind of circle and switch sides. Now your one leg stays bent, but your other leg doesn't have to straighten fully. And I'm hoping you can see what's happening here. Good. And then switch. So I'm pressing my right leg, but I'm resisting with my left. We are working upper hip, upper thigh, and switch, push, 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 and switch, and switch. You don't have to push hard to get the idea of what we're doing. Good. Switch one more. We're going to hold here, left knee closer to chest, and breathe, everybody. Ooh, you can play with lowering the leg just a little and bringing it up, a little bit of core work here. And up, switch, push, push, push. See if you can hold that nice contraction. Press your hips down to the floor. And again, you could just play here, just a little bit of range to work with the core. Ooh, keep pushing the strap away from each other. Good. Bring it center. I want you to take both feet away from each other, hands under your sacrum. Your strap is still around your feet. Lower those legs a little bit. Ooh, feel yourself working here. And then bend the knees 90 degrees. Strap is still around your feet. Press, press, press. And release it. Take the strap off. Oh, I know. Maybe straighten the legs. Make sure my water glass isn't going to get knocked over. Straighten those legs. Give those legs a little bit of a break. Maybe rub out those thigh muscles a little. Good job, everybody. That's a tricky one. And then set your strap aside for now. Bend your knees, feet to the floor. And I want you to play with an idea. Again, low back folks, take the hands underneath your sacrum. It's usually, for me, my thumbs kind of rest at the base of the sacrum so that my lower back doesn't overarch. It has something to kind of stop it. But if you don't need it, don't worry about it. You can grab the sides of your strap. Your knees are bent, so listen up. So this time I want you to press ribs, belly into the floor. Press the shoulders down to the floor. Maybe hold the sides of your mat and just press one leg out. Now notice when you press that leg out, if you go too low, you're just gonna arch. So press that back into the floor, press the hips into the floor and switch. You're going slow here. They're like super slow bicycles, but you're not letting your back move. It is just in the legs. This is some serious core work, right? No kidding. And often we'll lift our head and do the elbow thing. But what I've noticed is if I can go slow, oof, and really focus on this back pressing into the floor, I'm getting a ton of core work without yanking on that neck or bringing the shoulders up and off the floor. Good. Couple more if you can. If you're done, you're done. Breathe. Yep. Let's do 5, 4. Keep pushing back to the floor. 2 and 1. And bring your knees to your chest. Holy moly. Feet to the floor, everybody. Let's turn on to your right side. Oops. And grab your strap. Sorry about that. So you're going to need your strap and you're going to have to take it around those legs again. I should have did that while we were still flat. And then lay on your side. And just have your knees relaxed, one on top of the other. Your strap is out of the way. Your loop is loose. Okay. Now I have my head up because I got this thing in my ear. For you, I would take the head down to neutral, or you can grab a pillow or a block, right? And just rest. Actually, I think I can do that too. And with your feet together, just lift your knees apart. And I want you to feel that tension in the strap. From here, once you've got that tension, it shouldn't be too big. Lift the foot off the other foot. Your knees are 90 degrees. You're going to feel this pretty quickly as you hold, and then just release it down. The strap should stay pretty much in place. So lift up, push against the strap, and let go. Don't let the foot go higher than the knee. I have the privilege of being able to see myself on screen, so I can see that I want to lift that foot and then lower it back down again. Good. One more, just like this. Lift, hold, squeeze, belly's in, and release. Good. Rub out that hip. Now, you, right? Please don't overdo this. Please, please, please. Take care of your bodies. If 3 was enough, do 3. If 5 is good, do 5. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna lift the knee again. We're gonna get that purchase, that tension. We're gonna lift the foot, and this time we're gonna drop the foot down and lift it up. So internal, external rotation. Yep. So that foot is going above the knee and below the knee. Let's do just 2 more. 1 and 2. Whoo, and release. It does not take much, right? No kidding. Rub out the hip if you're feeling it. Good. Last one here. I want you to lift the knee, get that tension on the strap, lift the foot, and you're just going to come toward your chest. You're not going to go far because you have nowhere to go. And then push it back. So it's just a forward, press back, forward, press back, woo, forward, and back. Last one. Forward, press back, straighten the leg, straighten the top leg, and breathe, and then just press. 5. So again, you're resisting with the bottom knee. You're pressing out through the back, through the top knee. That strap is above that back knee. So make sure you're not just into the back of the knee itself. And release. Woo! Good job, everybody. And switch sides. So just turn yourself over or flip yourself over. Come on down, bend the knees. Head should be pretty neutral. And I want you to start with that strap just nice and loose. You're going to feel that outer hip, right? A lot of times when we think of hips and in general, if I say hips, you think up here, but the hip joint is actually down here where the femur bone pops into the hip socket, right? There's your hip. This is like pelvis. Anyway, small distinction. All right, so here we are. The knees are bent 90 degrees. Lift the top knee. Just adjust the strap as you need to. Lift the foot. Hold for a second. Yep, try not to lean back, try not to lean forward, and then just lower down. Good, lift up, push against the strap, and lower. There's just 5 of these. It feels like a lot more. 3, and down. And 2, whew, and down. Last one, push, hold, breathe, everybody. And lower down, maybe rub out that hip. Right? Send love messages to your hips. Send them love. Gotta do it. All right, top knee lifts. Hold. Feel that nice squeeze. Lift the foot. Here we go. You're gonna take heel up, heel down. Woo, heel up. Yep. Heel down. Breathe. Heel up. Down. These are harder. Woo, heel up. Down. We got one more. Heel up. Heel down. And release. Holy moly. It's amazing how little it takes, right? Just breathe, everybody. And then lift the knee, lift the foot, straighten the leg, resist. Bring the knee up and down. Bring it up toward your chest, down, up toward your chest. Woo, down, 2 more. Breathe. And straighten the leg, hold. So you're resisting, bottom knee pressing down, top leg pressing up, finding that pose, and release. Woo, rub that hip out. Press yourself up to a seat. Holy moly. It is amazing to me that it just doesn't take a lot. It really doesn't take a lot to work with those like really intrinsic muscles around the hips. So you're going to take that same strap, and we won't do this forever for the whole class, but so take that strap around the middle of your shins. I want you to go ahead and lean back, draw the shoulders back. You can either be on fingertips or you can be on flat hands, but just try not to cave in through your back. Your feet are as wide as they need to be to get good purchase on the strap. Your knees are bent. And then again, just push against the strap. Feel the outer hips. This is what we're talking about, right? It's that outer hip line that is going to help us walk. It's going to help us squat. It's going to help us bend our knees more, right? All of that fun stuff. Ideally, that's the idea anyway. And then release. Push out against the strap. Release. Good. Push out. Release. One more. Push out. And release. And if you can easily, I want you to loosen your strap so that your feet just got wide. The strap goes above your knees. I'm always taking the time to make sure that buckle is not pressing in the flesh. So your strap is much wider. It's above the knees instead of below the knees. You're going to lean back. You're going to lift your chest. Your heels are digging into the yoga mat or into the floor. And here we go. Just push out. If you can't get any purchase, you're probably too wide. And then just release. Push the legs out, even the heels, isometrically. Pull the heels out and release. Let's do 3 more. Push, release. I'm trying to get you really in touch with those outer muscles. No kidding, right? And out. Last one here. And release. Just simply straighten the legs. That strap is above your knees. I want you to press against the strap and see if you can sit straight up. Feet are flexed. If you're having trouble sitting up here, please just use the hands so that the back stays neutral. Woo! So this is it. This is all we're doing on this one. You're pressing against that strap. You are feeling these outer hips. You will love me for it later. Find your breath, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release. Holy moly, bend your knees and take that strap out. Set the strap aside. We are going to use it later, okay? So come on to table pose. And once you're in, well, as you're getting into table pose, I want you to grab one of your blocks. If you can, it's second width between your thighs. Okay. So second width between those lovely thighs. Back to table pose. Please cushion your knees if you need to. And I want you to just get a sense of how your legs feel as it gently squeezes the block, just gentle. If you look down and your knees are so wacky, they're not anywhere near your shoulders width or hips width apart, change the block. Maybe you have to go more narrow for you. And then tone the belly in and then just curl the low pelvis. I don't want you to go fully into cat, just the pelvis. And then release it and lift the pelvis, right? Tilting and then tucking. The upper body staying pretty neutral. And breathe. Lift the tailbone and then tuck the tailbone. Good. Couple more right here. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift. So it's like a half of a cat cow. And tuck in. And then find the middle place again. Imagine if you were laying on the floor, that middle space of the sacrum, that's what you're looking for again. Flip your toes under, spread through the fingers, right? Press through the index and thumbs. Lift your knees and come to downward facing dog with your block in place. Your feet are going to have to go wider for pretty much all of us. And I just want you to shift the hips a little bit side to side. No big deal, just shift. And then maybe circle in the hips a little bit, just play, soft knees. And then a little bit of a squeeze to the block and a little bit of an internal press of those inner thighs as if you could pull the block out from behind you. Find your breath. Woo. Maybe you come to tippy toes, stretch out the feet if that hurts. Don't do it, especially if you've had some feet surgery, foot surgery. Press the heels closer. One more lift to the toes and then back down. I want you to bend the knees enough to walk your hands back toward your feet. Drop the heels. You've got that block between the legs. Now tone the belly in. Take your hands to your knees. Lift up, lift up, lift up, and come to standing. You still got that silly block between your thighs. Your feet are forward. You can be at the front of your mat, that's fine. You can be sideways, that's fine. I want you to give that block a good squeeze and see if the feet will move in a little bit, right? And once those feet move in, I want you to press into your big toes and lift all your toes off the floor. If that block is too wide for you, go to the more narrow setting because it can be a little bit too wide for some. So I'm pressing into my big toes. I am making that inner line of my legs work. Good. Press your big toes to the floor. Keep the other toes lifted best you can. Oh yeah. And then switch. Big toes lift up. Other toes drop down. Switch. And switch. And release. Take that block out. Whew. Good job, everybody. Set the block down for now and just shake out the legs. So a little tricky on balance here. So if you know that you need a little extra support, come to your wall, come to your chair, whatever it is. I have one student that keeps a chair near her mat all the time. And if she knows, she's just going to kind of reach over for that chair. I think that's awesome. So I'm mirroring here. So not to confuse you, you're going to take your right leg and you're going to step forward and across your left. This is where it can be tricky from a balance standpoint where you might want to finger. So those legs are crossed. I've got my right leg in front of my left. I'm pressing my left knee in toward my right leg a little so you don't hyperextend it. Okay. Inhale, reach the arms up. As you take those arms out to the side, I want you to take your right hand behind your head, your left hand to your outer hip, and just lift the elbow. Just lift the elbow. Here's the trick here. A couple things happening. We're stretching this right side of our body, right? If you feel out of balance, I want you to press the back knee into the front knee more. Breathe, and then see if you can keep the elbow pointing up instead of down toward the floor. Yep. So my left hand is getting some good traction on the hip. It's not like I'm trying to push my hips over. I'm creating stability here as I stretch through and let that elbow lift up to the ceiling. Good. Come back up. Hold the pose. 1, you're here. 2, that left hand's going to slide. Breathe. Open it up. Don't hold your breath. Don't go so far that you feel like you can't breathe. And come on up. Release those hands. Bend the knees as you release. Shake it out. And then switch sides. Your left leg steps in front of your right leg. The back knee bends a little bit to help support that. Open up your shoulders. Your left hand goes behind your head. Your right, feel like a little teapot here. Your right hand goes to your hip, and then stretch to that side. Try not to let the elbow float forward of your chest. Even if you don't go as far, the elbow points up, the chest lifts. We're just stretching out side body, and then come up. 1, you're going to do that a second time. Squeeze the legs, by the way, and if you activate the glute a little bit, balance is easier. Either hand stays here, more stable, or the hand slides down, a little less stable. Squeeze the legs together. And come to center, release those hands, and shake out the legs. All right, so we're just going to do a little bit of a warm up, and then we're going to come back to some of that hip work. So you're at the front of your mat, have your blocks nearby. And inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands come to thighs. Open up the shoulders, tone the belly, and take some of that length out of the lower back. We've been playing with this for a little bit here. You're going to push into your thighs. You're going to lift your right heel, step back with your right leg. Then take your hands either to your blocks or to the floor. Level out your hips, squeeze the inner thighs. I want you to look at your left foot and see if you can raise all your toes off the floor. Once you have, you're going to lift your big toe and press the other ones down. And then switch. Press your big toe down, lift your other toes up. Relax all the toes back to the floor. Knee up or knee down. If you want to take the knee down and release the foot, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, that back leg is super active. Hands come to your knee. Lift your chest. Inhale the arms up. Woo! Finding that first lunge, either high or low. Breathe. Hands come back to your blocks. Listen up. You're going to walk both blocks forward a little bit. Push off your back foot. Step forward. Hands come to your knees. Roll your shoulders. And then stand all the way up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Release those hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come on down. Hands come to knees. Roll the shoulders. And right, you might be able to tell when I first do this, I always kind of lean into my low back. I have a very limber low back. So I just got to remind myself to tone in a little bit. Hands are pressing down into my thighs. Lift your left heel. Step back. Yep. From here, the hands go to your blocks. Your knee, left knee is either up or down. And if you think about, right, high lunge, you want that back leg's thigh to move away from the floor. So I see a lot of times people are like really sunk down. Really, I want that thigh to move away from the floor. Much more stable, feels really good, activates the leg muscles. So knee up or knee down, hands whoop, come to knee, lift up, take the arms up, find your breath. Don't let me forget to do the toes when we come back down. Stretching out the front of the left leg, toning through the belly. And exhale, hands come to your blocks. Before you go any further, let's press all the toes up or lift all the toes up, and then press the big toe down. Switch, big toe up, other toes down. All your toes down. Walk the blocks a little bit further. Make sure they're sturdy. Push off your back foot. Step forward. Bend your knees. Hands to knees. And come on up. All right, let's do that again, but we're going to do a little more sun salute-ish. Take the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hands come to your blocks. Please don't have your blocks up at high level because they won't be sturdy. They're either second or flat. Make sure the blocks are on your mat, not half on, half off. All right, bend both knees. Imagine that your hands are pressing into your legs. Lift your right heel, step back. Nice solid lunge. One, you're here. Two, that knee goes to the floor. The hips level out. Hands come to knee. Lift up. Reach up. Solid pose here. If your arms are up, I want you to squeeze an imaginary ball between those hands. Find your breath, everybody. And then exhale down to your blocks. Your right hand stays on your block. Your left arm goes up. Little baby twist here. Don't overdo. Find your breath. Shoulders are intact, right? Good integrity there. And then circle that arm all the way back. Place both hands on those blocks. Step back to plank. Careful, careful here. Make sure your blocks are solid. Lower your knees. Tiny chaturanga. We're not going all the way down. Push up again. Back to plank. Look forward. Step forward, right leg. Step forward, left leg. Hands to knees. Lift up. Inhale up. Exhale to heart. Shake it out. Right? Little bit different. If the blocks are throwing you off, set them aside. For some, using the blocks this way is easier. For some, it's harder. So you decide, see what's working for you. And for some of us, it's just different. For me, it's just different. It's not harder or easier. It's just different. All right, here we go. Other side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands come to blocks. Feel yourself nice and steady on your blocks. Lift your left heel. Step the left leg back. Find either your high lunge or your low lunge. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Move that left thigh away from the floor. Remember, we talked about that. Hands to knee. Lift your chest. Take the arms up. If the arms are up, squeeze that beach ball. Breathe. Find that lunge. Back knee can be bent. Back foot can be turned. Right? What is working for your body this morning? Breathe. Good. Slowly release those hands to your blocks. The left hand stays down, the right arm goes up. I'm not reaching back. I'm not trying to take that shoulder out of its socket. I'm reaching up to the ceiling. I'm moving from the center of my chest. That's it. Just breathe. Release that hand down. Place that hand back on your block. Either your blocks are second or low or none. Remember, we're stepping back to plank. Here we go. Tone the belly. Don't let the hips fall to the floor. Squeeze. Lower your knees. Half plank. You're just going to bend the elbows toward the blocks and push right back up again. Lift the knees. Look forward. Step forward, left leg. And breathe. And when you're ready, step forward, right leg. Find your breath. Bend the knees, hands to knees. And come on up. Oh, good job, everybody. Shake it out. Set your blocks aside. I want you to grab your strap. You're going to take that loop. You're going to take your legs through the loop. So just step one leg through, step the other leg through. and then adjust your strap so that it's really a little bit more than your hips width apart. My knee folks, this is where I want you to really be mindful, okay? Now, just rock forward, back, toes to heels, just a little. And then come to the center of your feet. Press down through the big toe mounds. From those big toes, spread the rest of the toes away. I want you to press against the strap, and to your ability, see, I just loosened mine because it didn't feel good on my knees. To the best of your ability, you're going to bend the knees a little, and you're going to push against the strap. Your hands can be on your hips, your hands can be on your thighs. Once you're settled, I don't want you to keep looking down, right? Kind of look at that forward space. And maybe turn the toes out a little and see how that feels in your body. And then push against the strap. So some of you are here, that's enough. Some of you are higher. My knee folks, you might be straight legs and just pushing out against that strap best you can. Okay, everybody else, find the distance that makes sense for you with the strap. Hands come to heart, chest stays open. I want you to bend and straighten. Good, bend, push against the strap and straighten, right? What we're trying to do is not let those knees roll into center, bend and hold, push against the strap, feel those hips. That's what I'm talking about. Keep that engagement straight in the legs. Good, just two more. Bend, straighten, I know, I feel it too. Bend, push against the strap and straighten. Good, release, shimmy out. All right, so this next part going to be a little trickier. Just breathe. You're going to take the tail end of your buckle, of your strap, the tail end without the loop. And I'll mirror here. So I'm going to go my left leg. I'll do my left leg first so you can do your right leg first. This is not my stronger side. You're going to take the tail of your strap and just place it under the big toe mound, not the big toe mound, the ball of the foot, and not the other toes, just the big toe mound. And then you're going to pull this strap up and you're going to just pull it up while you're pressing down. I want you to feel that tension, like how much effort it takes to keep the toe down while you're pulling the strap up, okay? And then take that strap in your opposite hand. So from here, all I want you to do, now the strap's not out to here where it's gonna get in the way of your other leg. It's just kind of heading toward your other side shoulder. I want you to step forward and lift your back heel, but keep tension on the strap. If the strap pops out, just reset and come back. Press the heel down and then step back. Keep pressing into your strap. Don't let the big toe pop up. Good, step forward, lift the heel. I got a good tension on the strap. Step back, pull on the strap. Good, just one more. This is just a feedback thing. Lift the heel, stop, step back, breathe, and release it. Go to your other side. Now, the trick here, the feedback that we're looking for, if that strap's all the way under the bottom of your foot, you're not going to be able to isolate the big toe. And that's what I'm trying to get you to do. So start with it, just press down and pull up on the strap straight up and just see if you can get that sense of it. And then switch the strap to the other hand. It's roughly at chest or shoulder. Same thing, just step forward, lift the back heel, keep the tension, and then step back. Yep. And step forward, lift the back heel. This is just walking, right? And forward. One more. Lift and back. Good. And then release. Sorry, my mat is traveling all by itself. Let me straighten that out a little bit. Good. And then think about this. Just come to the back of your mat for a second. Just hold your strap. When you walk forward, I don't know what just happened. Hopefully you all can still hear me because something happened in my ear. So just step forward. And then think about that big toe. Lift your back heel. Think about the back toe. Step forward. Press into the big toe. Walk through it. And if you have room, step forward. Now, usually it's a heel toe, right? And then simply step back. That back heel is lifted. You're on the big toe mound. Release the heel. Lean in. Step back. See if you can pause. Lean in. Right? Pause. Lean back. Last one. And pause. That's the feedback loop I'd like for you to get. I don't know. Sorry. I got to come back because something has happened. Stop doing that. Huh. That was interesting. I hit something on my ear thing and it was doing a text of everything I said on the screen. All right. So we're back to this. I want you to take that end of your buckle underneath your toe. Again, press down, pull the strap up. Here's where it's going to change. It's on that inside of your foot, right? The big toe. You're going to wrap the strap around the outside of your shin, along the inside, kind of above the knee, and to that same side hip. I'm not at the very side of my knee. I'm above it and I'm below it. So it's just wrapped around the back of my calf. And I got a pretty good tight pull on this. And I'm pressing down on my big toe, okay? So from here, keep a bunch of tension on your strap, press down through your big toe, other hand to hip. I just want you to lift the other foot. So lift your left foot, press down through your right, and step down. If you don't feel a ton of stability, wrap the strap around the back of the hip. Good. And lift up and down. Lift up, no big deal. And down, lift up and down. Same thing, hand to hip. I just want you to tap out and in. Tap out and in. It's a tap, not a step. So tap the toe and in one more time. Tap out, hold. Good, breathe, tighten that strap. Press through the back of the strap. Feel the leg, the stability of this right leg for you all. And then come in. Woo, switch sides. I know some of this stuff can be a little bit tedious, but it'll make so much sense in a minute. So now I've got it, I'm mirroring, so it's around my right. It should be underneath your left. You're gonna take it outside around the calf, inside above the knee, and then to your hip or behind the hip. So behind the hip just gives you a little bit more feedback. It's kind of nice. And then step on that strap. If it pops out, redo it. Okay, no big deal. So same thing as you hold hand to hip, just lift up and step down. Good, few more. Do it at your own pace. Tightening that strap is going to help stabilize that leg, hopefully. Right? Gets a little easier. Step out to the side and in, side, in, big toe out, in, 2 more, tap, tap, hold, breathe, stabilize this leg, and then bring it in, release the strap, and shake it out. Let that strap either hang around your neck or just set it off to the side for a second. Now, for my knee folks, you're probably going to be more straight legged. Okay, so you're just going to do a soft bend of the knees, and you're going to tap out and hold. For those of you who have knees that can take a little bit more bend, I just want you to deep squat here. It's not a deep down squat. It's a bend of the knees, hands to hips. Lean into your left leg, lean into your big toe, peel your right heel and tap out, right? So you're either here with a bent knee or you're here with a straighter knee. Try to have a little bend if you can. And then step, tap in, tap out. Here's the tricky part. Can you see my knee doing this? That's the tricky part right there, is to try to stabilize the knee, press into the big toe, sit back with the hip. If you're sitting way forward and that knee's flying past your toes, it won't feel good. Sit back, tap in, out, yep, in. I know this is like doing a single leg squat. In, press against that leg, in, and release. I know, darlings. Trust your bodies here. Shake it out every time. We're going to do the other side. So you're here. You're either straight, little teeny bend, little bit more bend, belly's toned in, shoulders are back. And here we go. Sit back in that hip, remember. Tap out, in, tap it out, in. Try not to lean too much. This is 4. This is 5. And stand up, shake it out. Now, if that was enough for you, that's where you stay. If it was too much, let's back it off a little bit, especially with the bend of the knees. If you got just a little bit more, we're going to play with balance and hips. So tiny squat, belly in. Think about if that strap was around your legs, what would you be doing? You'd be pressing out against the strap, right? So sit back, lift the left heel, tap out. 1, you're here. If the leg is feeling a little wobbly, try to press it out against that imaginary strap. 2, you're going to see if you can lift. Flex your foot. Find your breath. Try not to overlean and try not to overlean forward or to the side. Breathe. Tap down and then just stand. Press both legs against the imaginary strap. I kind of feel like Superwoman, right? Da, da, da. Press against that imaginary strap, engage the glutes. And then just step in. 1 more this side. Okay, so bend to the knees, sit back, peel 1 hip or 1 heel, tap out. Maybe this is where you hang out. Flex the foot, lift, toes point forward. Woo, keep sitting back. We're working the heck out of this hip and glute. Finding all those stabilizer muscles. Tap it back down. Just stand on both feet. Oh, squeeze your butt. And then shake it out. Smile, smile, smile. Because if you're out there frowning, I can feel it. Other side. 2 times. Right? Legs or hips width apart. I'm pushing against that imaginary strap. I do a little squat. I bring that hip back, lift the right heel for you all. Tap it out. See if I can just, even here, this is so much work. If you can, try to lift and then straighten the torso so you're not just over leaning to that side. Woo! Breathe, big work. Tap down and then stand tall. Squeeze your butt. Take the leg in. See, I'm not even going to waste time on this side. When you're ready, little squat. Press against the imaginary strap. Lean into your left, my right. Lift the heel. Tap out. See if you can hang. If you can, flex the foot. Lift the foot. Woo! Sit back, sit back, sit back. If I don't sit back, it bothers this knee. If I sit back, it's working. Okay. And then step down, stand tall. Superman pose, Superwoman pose. Take the arms out, be big, tall, and exhale. Bring the legs together, shake them out, everybody. I know that was a lot. I know. All right. So come on back, have your strap near the front of your mat. Come back to your mat. Grab your blocks and place them on your mat at the lowest setting. Once again, blocks, if they are not going to do it for you or they feel like they're going to slip. If you have a really slippery mat, then I would not use your blocks because we're going to use them for downward facing dog. So come into a forward fold. Place your hands solidly on your mat. I tend to wrap thumb and pinky fingers to the outer edges. Step back one leg, step back the other leg. Downward facing dog. The trick here, one, is to not have a slippery mat, but two, not to push forward with the hand, but push back with the legs so that you're not putting undue pressure on the blocks. Feel your belly tone in. If your blocks are starting to slip, take the hands off. Press down into the heels of your hands. Open up the shoulders. Your heels don't have to be down. And then tippy toes, lower the knees slowly to the floor. Woo. Once you're back to table pose, I want you to just do a little pat with your feet. Okay, just shake them out. And then hands to blocks or hands to floor. Press one leg back, press the other leg back. Squeeze that belly in and find plank pose. Knees down is perfectly okay. Don't let the hips drop though. Breathe. Squeeze in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Come off the wrists if you need to. Give them a good shake. The last thing here. Now this time I want you to pretend you have a strap around your legs and a strap around your arms. And you're pressing all 4 limbs away from center isometrically. So hands to blocks or floor. Press the knees out. If you're in half plank, you're doing the same thing. I'm pushing against the knees and thighs out and against that imaginary strap. Press the upper arms against the imaginary strap. If you want, lift the knees. So the big toes don't move, but the legs try to squeeze out. 5, 4, 3, arms 2, 1, and lower down. I think I didn't even do 2. Oh. And come on out, everybody. Just easy seat of your choice. Let's roll those wrists out. Give them a good shake. Whew. Have one block near you where you can grab your strap. Take the strap around the legs. Gonna have to be just a little tighter, but not too tight. Hips width apart, right? Hips width apart. Your block is nearby. And then come on down to your back. Oh, doesn't that feel good, right? After all that work. Press against your strap. Find your breath. As you press against that strap, you should now be well aware of these babies, right? These hip muscles. Just breathe. Good. Maybe walk the feet out just slightly. Flex your feet, lift your ball mounds off the floor, dig your heels in, press against your strap to your level. Watch your knees, everybody. I want you to curl tuck the pelvis a little, lift the knees. Here we are, bridge pose. Now there should be space behind your neck. Your neck head should be neutral. You're moving from the shoulders. There's not a ton of weight on your head. You're pressing against the strap. You are using your outer hips. Maybe the hands come down and hold on to your edges of your yoga mat as you lift up through the chest. Good. Keep squeezing the heels and the thighs away from center and feel your hips. You don't have to lift high here, right? To get this action, this pose. And then press the feet down if you can. This is, your knees or your feet are further forward than your hips. So we're doing that on purpose. Press out, press out, press out. Lift the feet, or you know what I mean, the toes. Press them down. One more lift. Press them down and lower down. Ooh, baby, baby. That's a whole bunch. Take the strap off. Set that strap aside. So bridge pose, change. You're going to have the feet and the legs together. Okay. And all I want you to do is squeeze the legs together and then just release it. So the knees and legs stay together, but you're squeezing into center and you're releasing. Good. Just a couple more of those. Get some good feedback muscles and let go. One more, squeeze and let go. So once again, your neutral spine, which means you should feel the center of your sacrum, right? Right, how we started. Feet together, knees together. I want you to open the knees just a little bit. Just enough to maybe put a block in there, not far at all. Press into your big toes, lift your hips off the floor. Your knees are separate. Squeeze the knees together, lower the hips. Yep, your hands can be holding the sides of your mat. That's perfectly okay. Here we go. Open the knees a little. Lift the hips, squeeze your butt. Bring the legs back together and lower down. 3 more, just like this. Open, lift, squeeze to center, lower down. Open the knees, lift your hips, squeeze the knees together, lower down. Last one, we're holding, of course we are, if you can. Knees open, lift up, squeeze the knees together and hold. Feel the hips and glutes working. The belly is toned in, the tailbone is long, the shoulders are down, the head is comfortable. From here, open just a little, squeeze back. 2, open, squeeze in. 3, 4, I know. 5, squeeze, lower the knees. Holy moly, separate your feet. Take the soles of the feet together, the knees out to the side, and a little bit of Baddha Konasana here. Whew. And from Baddha Konasana, just a little bit of a butterfly, right? Just easy, easy. Knees down, knees to center. You're not squeezing anything. You're just relaxing both inner and outer thighs. Just breathe. That's it. Not too bad, right? And then bring the knees back together, separate the feet, grab your strap. You're going to grab the loop of your strap and just place it around. Let's do left foot first. Take the left leg up to the ceiling. The strap, you're holding the strap in your left hand. Your right leg is comfortably bent, okay? And then you're just going to bend the knee toward the outside chest or into your armpit and push it back up again. Bend it to the outside armpit and up. One more here. Bend and lift. Now, bend it this last time. And if you're just bending the knee to your chest, you can see how the heel can come down toward your thigh. Then see if the heel will lift as if you were stepping on the ceiling. Take the strap. Let's see, let me make sure I get this right. Yes, Take that strap around the outer ankle like we did before to the inside shin, and then just pull down on it. All you're doing is a half happy baby here, and you're helping that leg stay a little bit more externally rotated. Normally, we would do this with your hand to your foot. If you want to do that, you can take the hand to the foot and just hold a little bit of pressure. This is not a hard pull here, just a little pressure on your strap. If you still feel fine, and I do mean truly fine, by the way, create a little space behind the lower back. See what happens if you straighten the leg. For some, that's going to be just way too much. Okay. And in that case, that knee stays bent as much as you need to. So, little half happy baby here. You don't have to hold the hand to the foot, right? Because the strap's doing the work. Find your breath, everybody. If you are holding your foot, release that foot, release the strap that's been wrapped around, straighten the leg, and then use your strap to slowly lower your leg all the way down to the floor. And then just relax it for a second. Bend both knees. Take the strap out off of one foot onto the other foot. Both knees are bent. You're going to take that leg, that right leg, straight up. Just breathe. The strap is in your right hand. Bend the knee and just see if you can bring that knee to your armpit, right? And the arm can be inside, outside. It doesn't really matter. And then straighten it up. Bend and straighten. Bend it. Straighten. Good. One more. Bend and straighten. Good. This time bend, hold that leg down toward your armpit. Again, it's either inside, outside, doesn't matter. For a happy baby, the arm's usually inside. And then with the strap, see if you can parallel the shin a little bit. And then take the strap to the outside of your ankle and then to the inside of your calf. And just hang on to that, baby. You can hang on to it with your right hand. Try not to curl the heel in. Breathe. So you're either here or your hand is here holding, and then your other hand can hold your strap. Still marvelous. The left leg straightens. A little bit of tone to the belly. Find your pose, everybody. Whoo, I know. You can make this deep, but you don't have to, right? That strap allows you to play with the pose without stressing the hip, as does that opposite leg. That's a big player in this if it feels like it's too deep. That's it. If you're holding your foot, release, straighten the leg, undo your strap, hold on to the strap as you lower that leg all the way down to the floor. And then if you can, if your loop is big enough, I want you to put both feet into your loop. Bend both knees. Take both feet out to Baddha Konasana. So as you pull that strap up, the feet will come together. Another option here that I did not cue, but you may want to, and which would be delightful, is to have blocks on either side of your knees as you come into this reclining and supportive Baddha Konasana. So I've got the strap pulled up, and then I'm just going to let it go, because if we're stressing or straining, we're not doing more restorative, right? So the hands can rest on your thighs, they can rest on your belly. Your knees are supported. Your feet do not have to be close to your groin to have this be a really sweet pose for you. And if Baddha Konasana, these knees bent like this, does not serve you, take the blocks underneath your knees instead, and legs are straight. You can just breathe, everybody. And feel your belly rise and fall. Feel your torso get heavier and heavier and relax more and more. If you are in Baddha Konasana and this feels great, then stay there. If you would rather not be in Baddha Konasana, I would probably slip my feet out and then use the blocks under the knees, just above the knees, to come into Shavasana here. But feel your shoulders relax. Feel your jaw start to relax. Let yourself get heavy on the floor, on your blocks. And just let go here. If you are still in Baddha Konasana, I invite you to straighten the legs for this last minute or so. And let the hips fully relax. See if you can get just a little softer. And then those of you who are ready, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Draw your knees to your chest. Rock side to side, and then allow those knees to fall to one side or the other. And then ever so slowly press all the way up, coming into your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your inner wisdom. Trust your bodies, trust your hearts, speak your mind. Namaste, everyone. Thank you very, very much.